You seen anything? You seen the ground in the background?
Well, I am seeing your camera.
No, you seen the floor?
No, man, I'm not seeing the floor. I'm seeing your camera.
All good. All good.
I'm seeing your camera. I'm seeing nice like a backdrop. I'm gonna try to set up a little studio vibe as well.
Oh, I love the window and everything. Where are you in? Which prefecture are you in?
I'm in Tokyo.
Oh,
Where are you?
I'm in Niigata, countryside Niigata.
Niigata is countryside. Is that close to Miyagi side? Where is that?
So above Niigata you have Nagano, and then below Niigata, like you have easy access to Gunma from Niigata.
Okay.
And then beside Gunma you'd have Tokyo. So we're about 3 to 4 hours via Shinkansen from Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
My whole journey coming to Japan was very I knew it was ordained.
Ooh.
And let me tell you why. Because I applied for the JET program in 2014, and I got as far as the interview stage, and the interview was horrible. And I just knew that it was just not my time. Like when I left the interview, I knew I had not gotten through. And then fast forward 2 years later, 2016, I met this young lady who was desirous of coming on the program, but she didn't know how to fill out the paperwork or even how to write the essay. So she asked for my help because I had told her that I had applied it 2 years before. And so I helped her to do everything. And the night before, which was, say for example, the deadline would be November 24th, right? On the 23rd of November, she came to my house and she was like, can you help me to finish doing this sorting out and all of that? And I was like, sure. So that same night, she said to me, why don't you fill out a form too and bring it in? And I said, sure, I can't bother you, man. I applied in 2014 and I didn't get through and all of that. And she was like, yeah, man. So I was like, and she begged me, she literally begged me to fill out the form and accompany her to the embassy because she didn't know where the embassy was and she was afraid of going to New Kingston on her own. So I was like, sure. All right, then. I was thinking, I had a job. I was teaching at a school in Portmore, and it was the first time in a while that I was settled into parenting with my daughter. So I didn't want to uproot all of that, So I was like, all right, then I went and I looked for the papers, the same papers from 2014, and I just rubbed out 2014 and put 2016, and I followed her to the embassy and I handed in those papers. And I forgot all about it until when I was going through my emails and I saw this invitation from the embassy to come in for an interview. So I called her immediately and I was like, I was called for an interview. Search your email and look if you get one. So, and she was like, oh, I'm looking. I don't see one. Let me call them. And they were like, if you didn't get an email, that means you did not pass the first stage. And I was like, I felt bad because I didn't want to go, but she wanted it so bad, and then she was the one who pulled me, and I guess God was using her to pull me, because when I went for the interview, on the spot, I applied for an August departure, and the lady was like, no, you need to go in April. No, this was January. This was about late January, early February. She was like, yeah, we wanted to leave in February, so in April, so get your stuff prepared. And I was like, what? She was like, yes, man, you're going to leave in April. So that's how it happened. I wasn't prepared mentally for the move because, as I say, I never had it on my mind to leave. Unlike some persons who had planned and prepared and wanted to come on the JET program, wanted to come to Japan, it was neither here nor there for me at the time. You understand? But so many things happened after I came to Japan, which made me realize that God was taking me out of a very terrible situation that I couldn't see before. But when I came to Japan and I look back at all the things that had happened after I came here, I was like, who could it be but God? I would have lost my job. I'd have lost the home that I was living in. And who knows? I probably would have lost my mind too. But, God saw what was going to happen or what other persons had planned for my life or had planned for me. And God just lifted me up out of that situation and brought me here. The transition, though, was horrible. I remember at the airport, I was saying my goodbyes to my daughter. And in my mind, to the point to how I wasn't even thinking of Japan, I thought the plane ride was probably, probably a 5-hour plane ride.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And then, I got on the plane and I got to New York. And I was like, oh, I can do this. I can do this another 5 hours. And I got on the plane. And I was like, what this flight say? 18 hours.
Check your boarding.
To show you, I was not prepared. I was not, mentally, I wasn't prepared. I just packed my suitcase and went to the airport. And I was like, 18 hours? This is not possible. How am I going to stay in the air for 18 hours? By the time I came off of the plane, my feet were swollen. I was cranky, and they brought us to the hotel, and I immediately went to sleep. And I bawled I just started crying. I woke up the next morning. I wanted some, was it ackee and saltfish? I wanted some stewed chicken. There was something I wanted. I wanted some Jamaican food because what they served, it never had any seasoning. It was just far from what I was used to. And then, I tried to talk to some of the other Jamaicans that were in our group and stuff, and they were excited because they had planned it. I was like, I was the only fish out of water here. And when we decided to separate after the whole training and stuff, and we're going to our individual places, and I realized that I was on the same train with another girl, and we're both headed in the same direction. And I was like, where you going? And she told me where she was going, and I was like, I'm going there too. And she was like, really? So it happens that we were going to live 20 minutes apart from each other in the same community. For the past 3 years, I learned a lot. I think that God brought me here to heal because I had a lot of hurt. Because I had my daughter when I was a teenager. Had to drop out of school and bear something, and I had a lot of damage that I was holding on to. So, I got the opportunity to come here and to heal and to release and to just let go because I was alone. As you said, there was but one of the things that really bothered me when I just came here was the silence. I lived in the inner city, so I was used to Sunday morning time, you hear the sound system, hurry up, and then the song, and then after the gospel song, you start hear the R&B, and later on down in the night, you hear the Vibes Cartel or something start playing. So I'm used to the constant noise, your neighbor shouting, or people passing by selling something, and you don't realize just how much that noise impacts your inability to process. You understand? So that to process your feelings and to process who you are as an individual and to just think. And I realized that I was severely depressed. When I came here, I was severely depressed. Let me tell you, God worked on me because I was placed in a situation where I had to be still.
Wow.
And I couldn't just jump on a plane.
I need to get tissue.
I couldn't just jump on a plane. Like, so for example, you're in Florida, you can just jump on a plane and go to Jamaica. I could not do that. And it was so expensive to fly to Jamaica. And then all of the things that were happening in Jamaica, my mother got evicted from where she was living. I had gotten the house where I was living, and my mother was living with me. But then I left, and then the landlord evicted my mother. Within a month after I left, he evicted my mother and started complaining why I never tell. He actually sold the house while they were still in the house, so my mother had to leave. And I found out later that one of my supervisors for the job where I was at, she was planning on getting me fired. So I was like, here I was thinking that I was comfortable in my job and somebody was plotting against me. And here I was thinking that I was comfortable with a roof over my head and I would have been left homeless. And so many other things happened there in my personal life that really would have set me down a path of self-destruction. And coupled with all of that, the emotions that I had, I knew that I needed. So God knew that He needed to take me away, you know. So I came here. I did so many things when I came here. I had so many experiences when I came here. So many. I learned so many lessons. Lessons in friendship, lessons in loyalty, lessons in how to deal with people from different cultures, lessons in how to build bonds in your workplace or how to not build bonds in your workplace, how to act professionally in certain settings, lessons that I would have never learned had I stayed in Jamaica. And I tell people this all the time. I believe that I'm being prepared for something greater. I don't know what it is, but I claim it. I know that there is greater to come. And I had to come here to step into my confidence, because who confident like me now? But then I'd be confident in a sense, but I would be second guessing myself. No, I speak my truth.
Yes.
You know? And you know, in Jamaica they have this saying, if me tell you, you can't take it cuss me. So if me tell you my story, you telling me back my story as if you're trying to take cuss me, it's like water on my back. I'd be like, sure, make it roll off here, man. So that's the level of confidence that I have gained. Let me tell you all how I was hungry and living in Central Village, and we used to go across the river, go pick they had what they call dump. They used to have the food that the factories and the stuff it was still good, but it was close to the expiry date, or it was still edible, but they weren't just going to give it to you. You had to go there and dig, like take up. Let me tell you my story. That's what I used to do to survive when I was a teenager in Central Village. Let me tell you my story of brokenness. Let me tell you my story of fatherlessness, or feeling as if I wasn't enough and searching for love in the wrong places, and the things that happened to me that caused me to get to the point of suicide. You understand? Let me tell you my story, and let me tell you of the victories that I have gained. Let me tell you the doors that God has opened for me to be where I am, and the things that I have learned being here.
Man, there's so many gems that you dropped just now. I don't even know which one to pick out. But you said that God took you away from Jamaica and brought you to Japan, and that you really believe that He brought you here to go through a process of healing. And that really, really resonated with me, because it is only now, maybe like last week or the week before, that my spirit has been able to find peace and real peace with the separation that happened in my life. The separation that happened between me and my friends, the separation that happened with family, just that process of Him taking me away from everyone, because it was something that I really, really questioned. So, you know, I really found peace with that recently, and just understood the process that God had to take me through before I was able to arise again. It's not we alone, you know. We're not the only ones. There are so many ALTs here. There are so many other foreigners who are going through so much, and they are not.
Yes. Why did you? One of the greatest things. Why did you come to Japan in the first place? The diplomatic answer is to become a cultural ambassador. That is the diplomatic answer. Below that surface is the answer of, I did have student loans to pay, plus I have brother, sister to send back to school, or I have kids back at home. In my case, I had a child that I had to send to school. I had a child to clothe and feed. My mother is a housekeeper in Jamaica, and for all my life, I've always said that I wanted to be in a position where I can help her. I bought her a washing machine last year. Lord God, who feels nice like me? I sent money home. She could buy us her very first settee. My mother is 60 years old and owning her very first settee. Wow. She could move and rent a house this is the largest house my mother has ever lived in. She's paying rent, but it's the largest place my mother has ever lived in. You understand? To see her enjoying what some people would consider the simple things in life, you'd have to understand where I am coming from. And I've learned to appreciate the small things. The fact that I could buy a toaster oven or send money and my mother could buy a stove. My mother had the same stove for about, I'm 29. She had that stove. That stove is older than my sister who is in her 30s.
Wow.
So the fact that I could send money home and she could change the stove. You understand? Things like those that some people would consider to be small things, I consider to be great things, and I'm very grateful for them. So there are ALTs here who we don't know their stories. You understand? And some of them are afraid to speak because of fear of judgment. But like I say, you have to develop a thick skin. A lot of people aren't like me who say what you want to say as long as you don't lick me. You understand? Then if it's physical, then it's a different matter. But whatever it is that you want to say, as long as it doesn't hurt my character in any way, or as long as you don't get physical with me, then that's a different thing. You understand? But a lot of people are here, they have their different stories, they have their different reasons. But as I say, you have to be under the umbrella of diplomacy. I'm a cultural ambassador. I've come here to bring Jamaica to Japan. But in closed quarters or in your closet, I come here to eat our food. I come here so I can buy good clothes and wear for the first time in my life. Or I'm here because, I have to send back a little remittance to the island.